United TV, source of knowledge.
Chitab Kalenjin atinye kamangunet ale imi komie ako itagat eng logoiwekab emet chotok chebo Ong'ate TV nesomanwa kwane chepkoe Safina. Ngetaune logoiwek eng nwogindo. Kakokon kurset Prime Minister nebo emetab Sudan koityi Prime Ministers chebo emetab Egypt ak Ethiopia akobo tekset notok nebo damit. Kakwa barak kaitetab biik chekokonam miondo notok nebo corona eng emet notok nebo India. Bune uitunwek chechang mweik chebo emetab Syria chekimwechi emet notok nebo Iraq. Itagat eng logoiwek tugul, kitaune logoiwek chotok chetinyegei ak somanet. Kakobarasta Cabinet Secretary notok nebo somanet Professor George Makoa tiemutik chebo class 8 eng walutik chotok kaibarasta inendet eng betutab raini kokemuch konda kipsomaniat notok nekekure Mumo Faith ak makishek cheite 433 kipsomaninik tugul chekoai tiemutik chotok pa class 8 eng arawet nekonyek kosire kipsomaninik milionit agenge.
The first candidate, who is now the best candidate in the country for this year, is female Mumo Faith Kawi from Karimwailu. It's a public school and her score is 433. The second candidate is another female, Wesonga Yuvet Nanzala from Chogoria Girls, with 432 marks. She is tied in that position with Muridhi Angel Kenya, Maseno Girls Boarding School with 432 marks. The next one is Wanyonyi Samuel Mahano, Nzoia Sugar Company with 431 marks. So those first four candidates are from the public school. Then there is Castro Williams from Crystal Hill Academy with 431 marks from a private school, and is tied up together with Tarus Chepkemboi Morin from St. Matthew's Septonok, the public school, with 431 marks. The next one is Kipkurui Abiot from Lesos Hills Adventist with 430 marks. The next one is Mwangi Margaret Waruguru, Karatina DEB, very proudly a public school. The next one is Benis Chesed Omondi, Nairobi Primary School, which is just our neighbor here, tying with the 429 marks.
Kakokon kurset Prime Minister notok nebo emetab Sudan Abdallah Hamdok koityi Prime Minister chotok chebo emetab Ethiopia ak Egypt nebo kobit kashinet eng teksetab damit notok nebo Nile Ethiopia Renaissance. Kamwa Abdallah kole nyalu kobit kashinet nebo kibagenge asikobit kokanapta bandab tai eng emotinwek chotok chebo Ethiopia, Sudan ak Egypt.
To break this deadlock, we have written to the leadership of the two countries, Ethiopia and Egypt, with the understanding that within the principles of the Declaration of Principle, the DOP, that would allow us, if we reach an impasse on the negotiations, we could refer the matter to the leaders of the three countries. And this is precisely what we did, and we hope this summit which we are calling for will be able to break this deadlock and allow us to reach an agreement within the remaining time. Ethiopia announced they are going to fill unilaterally without any agreement coming next July. We don't have time left. And that is why we think the issue is extremely important, critical, and time-bound. Addressing this issue within the remit of the international law, we think we can, for sure, through dialogue, resolve this issue if the will is there. We have no limits. We will go anywhere within the legal process that is allowed for us to reach an agreement, which is within our I think, we're not asking for much. Our current international foreign policy is designed to uphold and promote the interest of the Sudanese people. That will be the prime mover in addressing our relationship with the rest of the world. As I said also, Sudan has been isolated for so long from the rest of the world, and coming back to the fold of normal nation, we are relinking.
Kakwa barakoit notok nebo biik chekakonam miondab corona eng emet notok nebo India yekangenyor biik chesire 1,184 eng saishek chotok chebo 24 kipchulyo. Eng logoiyot notok nebunu ministry notok nebo tililindo eng emet notok ba India koboru kole biik cheite 10,3.9 chotok chekokonam miondo notok nebo corona.
The ambulances bring in the patients who are on oxygen supply. Some of them are critical and they're admitted first as soon as the beds with ventilators are available. The patients who are on oxygen supply through the Venturi masks are given that in 108 ambulances.
It's the common man who suffers the most. I have come here from Uttar Pradesh. I have no ration card or any other local documents. Only those who are local and have a ration card will get groceries. Outsiders don't get anything at all. How will migrant workers feed themselves? That's why they're leaving for their villages.
This disease is spreading at a very horrifying pace. I say horrifying because today's number of positive cases in the state is the highest so far.
Kakoboibochi kandoindet neo nebo emet notok nebo Afghanistan Ashraf Ghani kakwaut nekoib emet notok nebo America nebo komanda askarik chwak chotok chebo luget chemite emet notok nebo Afghanistan amait arawet notok nebo 9 nebo kenyinitok. Akot kounotok komi biik alake chebo emet notok nebo Afghanistan cheiwechin kole imuch kobit chemarget kot keisto askarik chotok chebo luget chebo emet notok nebo America.
I, as an Afghan girl, can easily study and work as the current government is in power. But if the US troops leave the country and the civil war happens, or if the Taliban takes over, I will not be able to study or work. I won't even be able to go out.
The Americans have not fulfilled their responsibility to Afghanistan. Their responsibility is to ensure a strong government, the rule of law and democracy in Afghanistan, and ensure that people's concerns are allayed from terrorism, drugs, intervention by other countries.
They failed to fulfill the promises they have made to the Afghan people. These forces are not useful to Afghanistan because their presence has not changed the country's security situation.
In the past at least 2 years, it has been our national security and defense forces that has been fighting on the front line. And there's been, especially since February, there's been zero international foot on ground.
The withdrawal of the foreign troops is our people's demand, and this is something we fought for in the last 20 years. This was always our objective. At the end of the day, the withdrawal must take place.
Pune itunwek moik cheite 200,000 chebo emet notok nebo Syria chekimwechi emet notok nebo Iraq kosubkei ak letaetab corona netesetai koletoigei eng ing'ony komugul. Tesetai chemarget eng emet notok nebo Syria agoi inguno.
3 of my children were born here. We feel it's safer than Syria, away from killings and kidnappings.
I traveled to Germany with my sons, but I cannot live there. I returned to Erbil, then studied to get an Iraqi medical certification. I have a steady income, and I serve Syrian refugees and other Iraqis.
For around $225 million yearly to meet the needs of the Syrian refugees in the camps and also outside camps, but this has never been provided. And connecting the humanitarian assistance to the development and resiliency building of these refugees. So once they will be able, or the conditions are prepared in the place already, when they go back, so they will have the skills and capacities and the human resources to rebuild.
Kastoindani logoiwek chotok chebunu emet notok nebo Iraq ko kakoit let nebo logoiwek ab emet eng betutab rani nekasomanwo kwane Chepkoech Safina ak amagun kembout nemie.